In the extreme. Mark, welcome back. Good to see you again. You tell me, now, what happens if America does withdraw from this 1992 treaty? Are we then completely out of the climate business?
Yes. In other words, our long national nightmare will have ended. This is the most significant thing that the Trump administration could do in terms of ending this climate hold that's been on America. Lo, these 32 years ago, since 1992, when George H.W. Bush, the first Bush, went to the Rio Earth Summit to appear green in his battle against Bill Clinton, lost the election anyway. He signed on to that, ratified that treaty, and introduced sustainable development, all the United Nations climate treaties. And what Donald Trump is trying to do now is submit that as the UN agreement as a treaty to the Senate and get it rejected. If it's rejected, then the next president has a much harder time. You need two-thirds to get it passed back in. And this is something no Republican president has ever attempted. And this would give permanence to Trump's agenda.
It would be rejected if it was put as a treaty to the Senate. Don't you have to have like 66 votes or 75 votes? You have to have a huge majority to confirm a treaty. So if President Trump goes ahead and does this, puts it to the Senate, it's dead.
It's dead. And then what it does is Trump 2.0 becomes permanent. The whole idea of the electric vehicle mandates, the solar and wind mandates, the net zero, the Green New Deal, all of that is going to be whisked away, all the international pressure, all the virtue signaling, and we can put to bed the nonsense that we need international organizations to micromanage economies and come up with goals and net zero that's somehow going to prevent hurricanes, tornadoes, floods. The climate never noticed what the UN did. You could look at charts from 1992 when this Rio summit, CO2's continued to go up globally. Nothing any UN treaty has done has resulted in anything but higher emissions. It has been a fiasco from the start, and Donald Trump has the ability to be the greatest climate president of all time by reversing this, and I think we're on the verge of that if he can pull this off.
I know that Republicans in the House have proposed phasing out Biden's clean energy tax credits. This will be part of President Trump's one big, beautiful bill. However, do you want to see any green rules at all kept in place, or should we get rid of the whole lot?
Well, first of all, you're talking about the Inflation Reduction Act. We should get rid of the whole lot, and they targeted 80% of Republican districts. No, in terms of green rules, we need to. What's happened is environmentalism has been hijacked by the climate movement. Climate has literally just hijacked the entire movement. We need to go back to focusing on the simple thing, not simple, but the hard things, but the core things: clean air, clean water, toxic waste cleanup. That's what the EPA and these environmental agencies should do. Not worried about gas stoves or worried about electric cars or worried about your washing machine, and we're hopefully restoring the sanity to that. The problem we have now is 80% of the money went to these Republican districts, as I said, and that makes Republicans now want to protect this money, because what is it in the end? It's a pork barrel spending bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, and Republicans and Democrats are equally susceptible to that. So it's going to be a challenge to repeal this. And if it doesn't get repealed now, I'm afraid it's going to be the nearest thing to eternal life on Earth. And despite all the subsidies, Stuart, this is important. Solar, wind combined, less than 3% of our total energy, combined of our electricity production, less than 14% globally. So there is no there. No matter how many mandates, subsidies, no matter how many bans on solar and wind's competition, it just hasn't borne fruit yet. And we shouldn't try to shut down modern energy on this ideological fantasy. And that's, again, this is a moment of permanency. We need to repeal this legislatively. You can only go so far with executive orders.
You won. You should be celebrating. Marc Morano.
I need something. Yeah, good point. Thank you.
See you soon, Mark. Good luck.
Thank you.